Good morning from Tel Aviv, 8 a.m. sharp. On my way to WeWork, to Zula HQ. Exciting day ahead. Glad I'm finally watching again. Thanks, Berman. Welcome, dude. So, I'm meeting Samba this morning, a video messaging app. An old friend of mine, and wanted to hear about some of the developments of the company. Barak is his name. If you remember an app called My Sixth Sense that was out several years ago, Louis Gray worked for them. He's now a Googler. It was kind of like, I guess it's somewhat relevant to Flipboard because it was kind of like found you the best content. But I was never a fan because I always wanted to find my own content. I don't want someone, because if an algorithm finds you content, then you're bound to miss something. So, hey Shoshi, good morning. I'm gonna try it a second to breathe. We're on audio only. That was early. That was quick. Spoke to Meerkat this morning, the team, to talk about this because this happens every day, all the time. Goes from video to audio. Don't know why. Super annoying. But they're working on some big updates soon, hopefully. Hey, so yeah, I'm meeting Barak this morning, and then supposed to meet an old friend of mine, Uzi Krieger, who's an enterprise guy, for lunch, but I think his kid is sick or something, so we might reschedule, in which case I'll meet Ryan of London on Twitter. Ryan has a new startup, and I'm going to try to grab lunch with them and see what's up. And then a few other interesting things going on later today. And then tonight I'm going to the opera in Jerusalem. Seriously. Right near the old city of Jerusalem, an opera. I'm really excited about that. They reached out and sent me a VIP ticket to the opera, the Jerusalem Opera. So that's really awesome. Looking forward to that. And today's stream is super unstable. Worse than usual. I don't know why. It keeps going between video and audio. I hope it stabilizes, because this is kind of annoying. Audio only. A lot of people have been asking for this specific stream to talk about how do you. I'm a big fan of the team, big fan of the product. It's definitely the app I spend more time than any other app using, and a lot of people said to me, "All right, so we get it. We love Flipboard, but how do I use it? And why should I care? What's in it for me?" kind of thing. And so, when you're good at something or when you enjoy something, you kind of take it for granted. You're like, "Yeah, everyone gets how to use Flipboard, right?" But apparently not. So, 40 people subscribe to this stream. I guess some people don't know how to use Flipboard, so I guess we'll talk about that. I have to say, though, I did a whole Meerkat on Flipboard and why I love it. I really do love it. I think there's some seriously valuable lessons to learn from the Flipboard team. Good morning, David. Try Periscope? Yeah, no. Thanks, but no. Good morning. Good morning. Anyway, so so I wanted to talk a little bit about Flipboard, but before I do that, let me just rant for a second here. Seriously, I know, you guys know I'm not the kind of guy to talk trash, but what in the world is going on with this Nora woman? Seriously, what happened to her as a child that she feels the need to strip on Meerkat? Seriously, now, pardon me, and if this offends you, then I'm sorry, but I don't need to see that garbage in my stream. Why does she, how is she not embarrassed to stand? Oh my God. I really don't like talking trash about people. I'm sure she's a very nice woman, but seriously, this has to stop. How much self-confidence can a person lack to feel a need to stand there on camera live and strip? I don't know. I mean, I'll never understand some human beings. I'm sure she's a very nice woman, and I'm sure that she does amazing things in her life, but I don't understand why she does this on Meerkat. It really upsets me. Michael, good morning. No, it really does upset me. I'm being honest with you. Meerkat's such a great platform, and why do people have to abuse it? Oh, Micah? Good morning. I really like. I really don't like trashing. I'm generally a nice. I try to be a nice and positive person, and I'm sure again she's a very nice woman. I'm sure she's a great human being. I just don't understand why she feels the need to do. I don't know. I really don't even understand it. Now she's doing it on Periscope. Good. Please go enjoy it on Periscope. It's actually pathetic. You know what? Forget Nora for 1 second. Actually, the men in there are pathetic. Like, really. We love you. Like, come on. Seriously. Yes. You know what? Whatever. I'm not going to go there. Like, what are people, like, it's, now someone's going to say, how do you know? Did you jump in? Whatever. All right. Listen, I spend a lot of time on Meerkat and I'm studying the leaderboard. I'm looking at who's out there. I'm on Jeff's streams all the time. And so, yeah, I want to see who this Nora woman is and what this phenomenon is. Unfortunately, when I see it, I have to, like, close my eyes because it's like, what the hell's going on here? But the point is, it's really, it's sad. It really is sad to me, at least, that a woman feels the need to do that. And I get it, you know, she wants, you know, whatever. It's just me. Yeah, Meerkat blocked Nora from mobbing? Really? She went postal on Meerkat yesterday? Wow. Regarding the connectivity, do you know if there's a reliable map coverage G4 in Israel? I don't know, David. Good, you know what? The guys are sad, delusional. Yeah, you know what? I'm really happy. I spoke to Ben about it, and he explained to me that she's walking the line. She's not, like, naked, but she's walking the line. And I'm glad that they blocked her from mobbing because it's not right. You know, it's just not right. There are kids here, for starters. And second of all, like, it's a great platform. Why do you have to abuse it like that? Whatever. It really upsets me. Anyway, that's just me, Mom. That's just me. How to use Flipboard. All right. We're getting back to Flipboard. Okay, how to use Flipboard. All right. So let me just start with why you should use Flipboard. And I talked about this the other day about, I'm in bumper to bumper, so I could read not professional. Yeah, that's an understatement. I talked about making your app delightful, right? And I talked about different things you can do in an app. She has been sweet to me, though. I'm sure she's very nice. She's been a good watcher. I'm sure she's very, very nice. Don't get me wrong. Maybe she's too nice. Anyway, all right, moving along from that topic. So I talked about how to make an app delightful, and one of the things that I said is people love to create, and that's really true. People don't even realize, but people love creating, you know? All right, Flipboard, all right, Rand, all right, relax, Moshe, we're talking about Flipboard. People love to create, and I think if you tap into that kind of psychological need to create, then you'll have something very interesting on your hands in terms of traction. And I want to tell you that at Zula, we're building something right now that I always talk about now because I'm really, I'm genuinely excited about it. This isn't like a marketing thing. I'm not like pushing it because I'm genuinely excited about it. And I spoke to Scoble the other day, and he like, over the phone, he's like, dude, your passion for this is like, I'm telling you, I'm genuinely excited about it, and it's at the foundation of what we're building is the need to create, and I think that Flipboard caters to that need in a major way. Best content curation tool ever. Yes, Mordechai, that's true. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So let's start with the basics before we get to the magazines and the content curation. Let's talk about the basics. How do you guys read your news? So some people use like Feedly, some people use Google News, whatever it is. All those things are great tools. You know, I'm not trashing them. I have no problem with them, but I cannot read anything outside of Flipboard. Like everything I consume on the internet except for Twitter and Facebook. By the way, you can do that. You can do that in Flipboard as well. But I actually use Tweetbot for Twitter. Everything I read on the internet is in Flipboard, and I'll tell you why. Passion makes anything great. Yes, Maggie, she's nice to me also. Comments are delayed. I'm listening now. Yeah, it's not. This isn't really full real time. This is, I think there's like an 8-second delay. But anyway, so, yeah, so reading, right? So, I mean, how do you use Flipboard? It's very, very simple. You like a topic, find feeds on that topic. So, for example, I'll tell you how my Flipboard looks. Like, obviously, I'm into tech, right? So, I have, I love Flipboard. Yeah, I'm a huge Flipboard fan. So, you know, my Flipboard looks like this. I have, you know, there's the home, you know, the home screen, which is just like, today's news or whatever it is, and then there's, you know, your feeds. So I have the technology, like a curated technology feed that's curated by Flipboard, and that they basically take you know, different sources and they make you a technology feed, and that's great. That's my first square in the Flipboard kind of grid. Then I have TechCrunch, right? Then I have Tech Meme. Then I have VentureBeat. Then I have the Next Web. And I'll send a screenshot on Twitter afterwards, but I have like all my feeds just lined up box after box in the grid. And what I do is very, very simple. I just go into TechCrunch and I flip. Flipping for Flipboard. Ducks. Flipping for Flipboard. Oh man, that was painful. So I go into TechCrunch and I flip, right? So there's an article that says, you know, big data startup, and I'm like, okay, I'm not a big data guy, so keep flipping, right? That doesn't necessarily interest me. Now we'll talk about the magazines in a second and how I use those, but for starters, for me, Flipboard in terms of content consumption is by far the best experience, because you can, at the end of the day, like I always say, we all have ADHD, and I don't want to have to open Safari and go into TechCrunch and start reading articles that are irrelevant to me. I want to get to the relevant articles. So I flip through that article because it's about big data, not interested. Next article is about security, less interesting to me. Keep flipping. Now, I would say 75% of news articles or tech articles, it's really enough in many cases to read, you know, the title. So for example, you know, I don't know whatever it is, Mobley launches IN, new visual, you know, new search, visual search engine. Now, if I want to know about this platform called IN, then I'll jump in and I'll read about it. But if I want to know that, you know, I don't know what, Mobley raised $80 million from you know, Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire, I read the title, that's enough for me to know that this is something I want to share onwards. So I click on it and there's a little share button, and I can share it anywhere, right? You can add your caption so it's not automated. You can share it on Twitter, you can share it on Facebook, share it anywhere you want. They actually have a integration with the Google Plus API, which is limited, but super simple. And I would say, I never really counted, but I would say at least 50 to 60% of the articles that I read on Flipboard, it's enough to read the title to know that this is very interesting to me, so I'll share onwards. If it's an article that I want to know more about, I click on it and it opens in a beautiful, it all comes down to the interface of Flipboard, right? It's just so beautiful and so seamless and so frictionless. That's the important word. And I was talking to Ben Evans the other day from Andreessen Horowitz, and we were talking about what we're building at Zula, and he used the word frictionless, and it's so right. The important thing of apps in general, I think, of digital products, is removing friction. And Flipboard is like butter. There is no friction, right? You're flipping, and it's just beautiful in terms of the interface. And what's interesting is that it's equally beautiful on any device, right? I use it on iPhone 6 Plus. I use it on iPad. On the Note, it's beautiful. It's just a beautiful user interface. So all my content is there. So I go through TechCrunch, I read it. All right, I'm done. I'm finished. I go to Tech Meme. I read the latest news, and I just go through my feeds that way. And I can literally catch up on tech news in 15 minutes. You know, when I sign off, you know, for Shabbat on Friday, I come back Saturday night and there's like obviously a storm of tech news. I'm caught up on tech news. Besides my what did I miss tweet, I'm caught up on tech news from Flipboard in literally 15 minutes, which is phenomenal. And that's the concept. You can consume content super quickly. Flipboard is simply efficient, functional, beautiful, and a pleasure. Yes, I agree, Martin. Find articles, flip, create mag. We're talking about mags in a second. Curate content, creates a story and progression of a topic. What about Apple building a Flipboard killer? For the love of God. I'll address that in a second. Other than remembering by myself, how do I know what my last read post was? That's a very good question, Mordechai. Flipboard, not just a novelty interface. I haven't used it in a while. No, it's absolutely not. It's the best way to consume content. Flipping for Flipboard. Okay, so Flipboard. Okay, so first of all, how do you know your latest read thing? I don't think, as far as I know, that there's a way to know your latest thing. But I mean, if you read it, you should know that you read it, right? I think that's pretty basic. But guys, please stop with the whole killing, discussion. Apple's not killing Flipboard. Paper was supposed to kill Flipboard. It doesn't work like that. In 99% of cases, there's room for more than one player in the market. So Apple will have their newsreader installed on iPhones, and that's fantastic. And I will not stop using Flipboard, and many tens and probably more than tens of millions of people will not stop using Flipboard. So Flipboard's not dead. I'm sure there are many acquisition offers on the table. I know there are many acquisition offers on the table. They're not going anywhere, okay? Should they be worried? I wouldn't say worried. They should be conscious. They should be aware of the fact that now they have some fierce competition. But we've talked about this. Competition is validation. Competition is a good thing. So I definitely do not think that Apple is going to kill Flipboard in any way, shape, or form. Palantir, $20 billion valuation. I don't know what that means. I'm not really sure of the context of that comment. So just in terms of reading and sharing, Flipboard is just the most efficient and the most beautiful interface or experience that I'm aware of on mobile. And by the way, they released their web client several months ago, and it's true on the web as well. It's just so beautiful. It's so easy and fun to read. It's delightful, as we were talking about the other day. When I come back in after Shabbos, I'm not always sure. Okay, so I hear you, Mordechai. So it's a good point. Maybe they should mark it. I'll pass that on to Mike, the CEO. But I don't think there is a mark of your last thread article from what I'm aware of. I don't think there was such a thing. But in any case, so that's consuming content. That's, for me, the best, both on the web and on mobile. It's absolutely the best way to consume content. But we talked about this the other day. What's the main challenge for any mobile developers? Retention, right? Discovery is pretty much cracked. You can acquire users, you can get users, it's all good. I have one app on my iPad, Headline News. I don't know what that is. So what they did was actually brilliant, because they said, okay, people are using Flipboard, whatever, I don't know what, 20 minutes a day. I used it, let's say probably an hour a day. I would read my content, feeds before I go to sleep, when I wake up, fine. But it wasn't like through the roof, retention or engagement. So they said, all right, we're gonna do something else. We're gonna add a new feature to cater to the whole people like to create phenomenon, or whatever you want to call it. And they created magazines. This was several years ago. And now, when I read something that's interesting, Fuld, you are right. It is so easy to catch the news, well organized. Yes, I agree. So now when I read something, let's say, for example, I gave the example before, I'm reading an article about big data. So big data startup raises $50 million. So that's not interesting to me, right? But many of the people in my audience, or people that I'm connected with, will find that interesting. So now, can I talk about discovery? Yes, I'll talk about discovery in a second. So now I have a Flipboard magazine that I curate with Robert Scoble and with Mike McHugh, the CEO of Flipboard, called Startups Only. So anything that has to do with startup news goes in there. So anything that I read that might not be interesting to me, that I might not click through and read, I'll tap it, I'll just flip it into there, and now the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of readers that that magazine have access to new news. And they actually read, I've met many people who get all their startup news from my magazine. They don't read anything, they just read my magazine, which, by the way, I have to say is probably the most comprehensive source on the internet today for startup news, because we take content from TechCrunch, from TechMeme, from The Next Web, from VentureBeat, so you can read all of those, or you can read our magazine. So it really is the most comprehensive source of information about startups. And so anything that's relevant to that. So I have a magazine called Startups Only. I have a magazine called Israel Tech. So anything that's Israeli tech, anything that I come across that's Israeli tech goes into that magazine. You want to know what's going on in Israeli tech? Follow that magazine. It has everything, right? I have another magazine called Building Zula. Anything that has to do with messaging or building a startup, in there. You want to know about the messaging space? You want to know your competitors? I actually met with a messaging company the other day, and I'm like, we were talking about, an amazing company, by the way, and we were talking about the space and the landscape, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm doing competitive analysis. I'm like, okay, happy birthday. Take this link. Here's your competitive analysis. You now know everything about every single company in the space. An amazing resource, right? I have another magazine called Hill's Posts. So all my writing, I write for 50 different places, right? Where do you follow that? Where can you follow it? In that magazine. Anywhere I ever write is in that magazine, right? I have another magazine called Hill's Gazine. Anything that I find interesting. All my favorite content in that magazine. I have another magazine called Gadgets that caught my eye, just cool tech I've come across. So I use magazines to curate very relevant topics. Think about it, guys, right? On a very philosophical level, on Twitter, you guys have people that follow you that are completely irrelevant, that you would never, ever talk to in a bar because you share nothing in common, right? On Facebook, you're friends with people that, like, you went to high school with, or someone that went to high school with someone you went to high school with, and, okay, you're connected, but on the internet, with digital communication, it's not like real life. You're not connected with people that you have common interests with. How do you connect with a topic, right? So there are many, I would say probably, at least, my own personal experience, at least 20 startups that I've met that trying to deal with this issue of how to connect to topics. But I think that this is a really great way to connect to a topic, is follow a magazine on a topic. Can you add your own content to your magazine? Of course. You can add anything you want. Anything you read on the internet. Copy the link, and you open Flipboard, it'll say add this to your magazine. Anytime I read anything, I just flip it into a magazine. Anything that's relevant to my magazines. So, I mean, it's such a beautiful and effective tool to curate content. It is such an amazing tool, and I'm not even talking about the marketing perspective of it, right? The marketing aspect of it is super powerful, right? What are we all talking about all the time? Producing content, this and that. If I could give you a tool, if you're a company that's doing, I don't know whatever, let's take messaging. Are you a messaging app? So you can do competitive analysis. It's going to take you some time. Use this magazine, you're done. It's an amazing resource, an amazing source of content, right? And it's so easy to do. It's so seamless. It's literally, you come across an article, you hit that plus sign, flip it into the magazine, and you're done. And it's there. I think magazines have a long way to go, though. There's a lot that can be done with it. I would love to be able to communicate with my hundreds of thousands of subscribers there, which I can't do. But I know Flipboard's working on that, and I'm actually advising a company called Flip2Mail, flip2mail.com, that enables me to subscribe to any magazine and get email digests. So basically, he is teaching us now how to become extremely superficial, as if It's an efficiency turning your downfall into a principle. Great or stupid? What? Basically, he's teaching us now how to become extremely superficial as if it's an efficiency, turning your downfall into a principle. Great or stupid? What are you talking about? Honestly, superficial? I'm talking about consuming content that is, there's an insane amount of noise. There's so much content out there. How do you consume it without spending hours upon hours learning and studying? This way you can consume content quickly and you can curate your favorite content and distribute it to your audience. I don't know what you're talking about. How's this? This is not superficial at all. It's the opposite of superficial. So the next thing, then it's superficial. You're missing out on some of the meat. So this is absolutely the opposite of superficial. I don't know what you're talking about, my friend. But thank you for commenting. We're back on audio only now, unfortunately. Well, I'm going to wait for the... It's so annoying that it keeps doing this. Anybody know why this happens? I'm really curious from like a technical perspective why it keeps flipping at audio video. I'm on like full bars. I mean, someone told me yesterday the full bars is just the reception of my phone. It doesn't show the communication with the tower. I get that, but why does this keep happening? I'm like on a main highway. I have perfect connection. I don't know why it keeps going to audio only. It's really annoying. I really wish Meerkat were fish. I don't know where that came from, but okay, maybe you just need a hug or something. Or maybe I missed something. Maybe you have a valid point and I'm missing it, so feel free to explain what you just said. Moshe Berman talked about discovery. There's a very advanced search mechanism in Flipboard. Can you engage with via comments? Can't you engage? Oh, engage with my audience via comments? Yes, I can. And actually, the latest release of Flipboard now enables me to actually write like a thought on each time I flip something or whatever. I can actually comment on it, so that's cool. But I'd love to be able to actually like personally engage with, like, you know, write to a specific person who follows my magazines. And that's not possible as far as I know. Even like use my, again, the startups only has hundreds of thousands of readers. I'd love to send those guys an email and be like, you know, thank you so much for, I don't know, whatever it is. I'd love to talk to these people, know who they are for starters. Just know who my audience is there. There's no way to know that. So that's just, I think, I mean, I know that the Flipboard's working on stuff, so that's cool. But in terms of discovery, I mean, you like, whatever you like, there's endless amounts of sources on that topic in Flipboard. So for starters, Flipboard itself resurfaces magazines. When you're flipping, it will say to you, here's a magazine about this topic, and you can always subscribe to that and follow those things. But use the search. Literally just search for anything you're interested in. Search for the word Israel. You'll come across endless things about Israel, including tech, including other things. Search for the word, you know, big data. You'll find endless sources on big data. And you can subscribe to those and add those to your little grid, right? And my grid, I've easily like 100 different feeds. I can't follow all those feeds, but I definitely have like the top 20 or something that I follow every day. And I literally spend easily, I don't know, 2-3 hours in Flipboard every day. I wake up in the morning, I wake up like at 3:30 in the morning, and I'm in Flipboard for a good hour and a half, like just reading and engage, like just flipping and curating and reading all this stuff. And then at night before I go to sleep, that's how I catch up as well. So I spend hours there. So yeah, discovery, I mean, I don't think discovery is like its best feature. I definitely think that it needs improvement. More on the push side than on the pull side, right? I can search for anything, but I'm saying they should do a better job resurfacing content, I think. But they do an okay job. It's not bad. I don't think I'm missing any of the feeds that I want to be subscribed to. You can find anything in 2 seconds. So it's really, Flipboard's really about following topics, both following topics and Flipboard kind of curating themselves. Forget your magazines. Flipboard themselves curating topics based on different things, A, your interests, B, your social graph, different, just kind of serving you the best content. But the difference between what I talked about before in Flipboard, My Sixth Sense, is that My Sixth Sense found you just the content you want based on what they think, and you can't actually find your own content. So in Flipboard, I can define and configure whatever content I want to read. I know I like reading TechCrunch, so it's in my feed. I'll read it there all the time. I won't miss anything. And that's a big difference. By the way, I think there's somewhat of a lag in Flipboard. I don't, like, as soon as TechCrunch publishes something, it doesn't show up in Flipboard for a good few minutes, I think. I was talking about when do I sleep? I sleep from like 12:31 to like 3:30, something like that. This morning I slept late. I woke up at 4:30. But I don't, yeah, dude, you know what? Like, honestly, listen, I'll be honest with you. I live on this stuff, to be honest with you. I live on this stuff, man. This stuff is poison, but it keeps me awake, and I got to be productive. And I can't. The truth is, it's call it a problem. I don't know. I mean, I'm super ADHD. I have a lot of stuff I need to do. I'm doing a lot of stuff at the same time, and I'm having a great time. But I can't afford to like sleep. I also, FOMO. I definitely fear missing out. So, I mean, and by the way, Meerkat totally, like, magnified my FOMO. Like, things, I'm getting push notifications, is live, and I'm, like, in the middle of a million things. I'm like, I gotta watch you too. Are you kidding me? I gotta. So that's a real problem. But I don't sleep much, that's the truth. But I'm okay with it. So far I'm sustaining it. I'll probably eventually crash, and then I'll maybe fix my sleep habits. But yeah, I definitely wake up at 3:30 in the morning, and I just start catching up on notifications and Flipboard. So anyway, the lag, I was talking about if yesterday, if this then that, which is a seriously awesome platform to connect different kind of services. So for example, you could take a picture with your iPhone, it automatically uploads to Dropbox, or all kinds of different things, and recipes they're called. And I love it, but every time I try to use it, I stop using it because it's such a lag. So in today's day and age, I can't afford for me to, like, for example, they had a recipe that I tried the other day that every time I go live on Meerkat, it posts on my Facebook, which is in theory very useful because my Facebook audience doesn't know that I'm live right now, and that's annoying for them and for me, right? So it's a recipe, but the thing is, this is a perfect example why I need it to be real time. I go live here, 15 minutes from now, I post it on Facebook. What value is that, right? So it's not real time. Someone responded yesterday, I think Paul responded yesterday, that it is real, that he does find it to be real time. Every time I've ever tried it, there's been a 15-minute lag, so I don't know. I wonder if you're getting loss of video because less of bandwidth, I'm sure. Facebook is based on RSS. The text simply takes time as far as I know. Yeah, of course. I mean, not Facebook, Flipboard, right? Business and technology are both awesome on Flipboard. Yes, I agree completely. You're at Meerkat HQ. Cool, man. Jeff, some regards to the gang there. Content curation is the next biggest trend. Even Hootsuite is getting into it. Yeah, I don't think it's the next biggest trend. I think it's very big already. I think, by the way, wow, 102 people here right now. That's, geez. Thank you, guys. That is super nice of you. See, Flipboard, that's what I'm saying, guys. Flipboard is really kind of like an intriguing platform for so many different reasons. First, reading your content. Second, curating content. And third, distributing content and becoming a content source. It's very, very useful, and it's just so much fun to use. And you can't say that about many apps. There's no question, by the way. I think the last time I can remember an app was stable for a while there. The last time I remember an app that had this level of finish, and I'm not talking about the need for this app, again, I'm talking about just the execution, was Path. I don't know if you guys remember Path. I think it just closed down recently. But I used to use it a lot, actually, just to, like, let people know when I'm up and when I'm sleeping. I actually really, really liked using it. There wasn't a real need for it, but I did enjoy using it. It was just such a beautiful app. I just love Flipboard. I just love the UI. I think they're, and again, I did a whole Meerkat on what you can learn as a company from Flipboard and from the team and from, different aspects of Flipboard. That is definitely a Meerkat I highly recommend you watch. It's on my Pinterest board, by the way. Anybody who's interested in past Meerkats of mine, just go to Pinterest and search for my name, and you'll see all my Meerkats on a Pinterest board. I talk about usually marketing and tech and whatever it is. So you might wonder. Okay, good. So we're back on video. So I did a whole thing on Flipboard, a whole Meerkat on Flipboard, and what you can learn from it as a company. There's some seriously valuable lessons. Path was so gorgeous. Yeah, I agree. And Dave's kind of an awesome guy. And although he became, in the early days of Path, we would talk all the time. As did Kevin Systrom. Like when he founded Instagram, we used to we used to talk all the time. And now he's all hotshot, which is fine. He made $1 billion, whatever. But anyway, so yeah, Flipboard, just the level of finish is really, it's actually quite, I think it's quite addictive, the whole flipping thing. It really is. And I'll tell you, when they came out on iPad, Lord, I love the concept of Path Talk. Yeah, that was great, to talk to businesses, right? When they came out on iPad Flipboard, it was like such a natural platform for it. I know that Mike had the idea on like an airplane, and he's like, but there's no platform for it. And then when iPad came out, he's like, boom, this is it. But when it came out on iPhone, I was skeptical, actually. I remember talking to Mike about it on Twitter, and I was like, really, I don't know if I can flip on such a small screen. It's too small, whatever. But they did something seriously brilliant, right? What did they do? Instead of horizontal flipping, they made it vertical flipping. Wait, am I doing that? Yeah, vertical instead of horizontal, right? Because horizontal, the iPad has more room to flip, whereas the iPhone is much smaller. There's not much room horizontally, but vertically, there's the whole screen. So they totally changed kind of the concept of flipping from horizontal to vertical, and that was brilliant. And I actually prefer it on iPhone now than iPad. I use it almost exclusively on iPhone. I have an iPhone 6 Plus, so it's obviously big enough to flip, and it's just a beautiful screen. It is on iPad, which is so surprising because iPad's obviously a much bigger screen. Lost you, man. Yeah, I know. Did you guys not hear what I said about when they came out on iPhone? I said when Flipboard came out on iPhone. Well, when Flipboard came out on iPad, it was a natural platform for it. It came out on iPhone, I was skeptical, and I told Mike on Twitter, I'm like, I don't get it. Like, I don't know if I can use this on such a small screen, but I'm in love with Flipboard on iPhone now. So, yeah, I was wrong. I really, really like it. And Like I said, I spend hours there. I read all my content there. I would definitely recommend, guys, that you check out my magazines. And I'm not doing this. I don't get any. I'm not like making money from my magazines or anything. Like I don't gain anything from you following or subscribing to my magazines. But I would highly recommend you check them out because you can get just basically really targeted content. Like if you like drones, I forgot about my drones magazine. So I'm in love with drones. That's my new kind of passion. I'm loving my drone. I have the Parrot Bebop drone. I love it. So I built a magazine called Drones, and it's all about everything you want to know about drones news and everything about the space, which is, in my opinion, going to be $1 billion market very, very soon. Still audio. This is a long one. You guys hear me at all, or let me know if you hear me in the comments at all, or it's just totally black screen the whole time, or when I was on audio, like it says to me audio only. Did you guys hear audio, or you just saw black screen? Because if it's a black screen, I'll know that when I'm on audio, I should stop talking and not talk to myself, because it's kind of annoying. But I don't know. Let me know if you heard me. Anyway, so as for me, we're hopefully going out in beta in a matter of a week or two. Hear you, and then it cuts out. Yeah, we can hear you clear. All right, cool. So we're going out with a new product in beta in a matter of 2-3 weeks, hopefully. And a lot of people have sent me requests from Meerkat to beta test this app that we're releasing. Open to sending it to anyone who wants to beta test an iOS app that will make your jaw drop. It is really stunningly beautiful, and it's a really cool concept. So if you want to test it, just do let me know. Yeah, and then we're going to be hopefully launching in a matter of less than 2 months, I hope. It's really, really an interesting concept, and anybody that I've told it to, and I've told it to quite a few people by now, like basically every single person except for one person, I'm not going to mention his name, who was a little bit skeptical. Everyone else has been like, wow, it's brilliant. Someone actually said, I was talking to someone yesterday who's kind of a hotshot, and she was like, no, there's no way that doesn't exist. And it doesn't exist, and I'm so excited about it. So we're going to hopefully launch our landing page to sign up for beta soon, and we're going to give away some more information, but really, really excited about it. So if you want to beta test the new app on iOS and Android coming soon, then shoot me a tweet, shoot me an email. My email is the same as my Twitter at Gmail, and just let me know I want to beta test, and I'll be happy to send it to you in a matter of weeks. Come on, Meerkat, sort this out. Yeah, man, seriously, Meerkat, sort this out. It keeps cutting in and out for me. Oh, it's so annoying. We can hear you clear. Okay, good. So I am in Tel Aviv, and I'm going to WeWork now. And like I said, I have some great meetings lined up, but I definitely have some work to do this morning. I heard you, it's also not a black screen, it's a Meerkat shaking antenna. Oh yeah, that's right. I get a black screen, you guys get a Meerkat shaking antenna. Which, by the way, is another topic we talked about, making your app delightful. Those kind of things, like, oh my God, when connectivity goes out, it's annoying, but when you see like a cute visual, I guess it makes the best of a bad situation, I guess. Although it's starting to get old too, that Meerkat thing shaking the antenna. It's kind of annoying. But you don't hear me at all, right? When you when that Meerkat appears and shaking the antenna, you don't hear me, right? Or do you? I don't remember. Anyway, I'm in here in Tel Aviv. I'm not going to turn the camera around, but I'll show you this way. I'm in Tel Aviv, and there's the train. When you turn the camera around on Meerkat, it gets all bunkers and delays and all kinds of weird stuff, so I'm not going to do that. Anyway, so bottom line is, guys, Flipboard is really, really an amazing tool for reading your content, for distributing your content, and for curating content to share with others. And if you don't use it, I'm telling you, you're missing out on something really, really great. I really highly recommend you try creating a magazine. Just create a magazine, because the ability to create a magazine that is such a beautiful thing afterwards, it's so beautiful, is really something unique, I mean, again, I think people like to create stuff, and Flipboard makes it so easy. It's literally like 3 clicks, like it's 3 taps. It says like, you hit a plus sign to flip something. It says flip it into one of your existing magazines or create new magazine, and it's like, put it in a title, description, and you're done. You have a magazine. Yes, on audio and the cat. Okay, cool. So I would highly recommend you guys try creating a magazine on Flipboard, because it really is a great experience. And just if you're an entrepreneur, if you're building an app, I think there's so much to learn from Flipboard. So check out that Meerkat. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So I appreciate there's 442 people and 104 people here right now. That's, to anybody who says Meerkat's dying because of Periscope, come in here and look at these numbers. This is, and I don't use Periscope anymore because of the way Twitter treated Meerkat, but these numbers are bonkers. And I'm telling you, I don't get this. When I did use Periscope, I didn't get anything near these numbers. So whoever says Meerkat's dying is a fool. Pardon me, but really. Anyway, guys, thanks again for coming in. I'm off to work now, and yeah, like I always say, if you have ideas for Meerkat, topics that you want to hear me talk about that I know about, I don't know about everything, but if there's something I know about, I'm happy to talk about. I have a few more topics that I want to talk about, like